The year is 1914. Europe stands on the precipice of a monumental conflict, one that will reshape the continent and the world forever. Europe is a powder keg. Nationalism is surging, igniting fervent passions and deep-seated loyalties among its people. Empires, once mighty and unchallenged, are crumbling under the weight of internal and external pressures. The great powers are locked in a deadly arms race, each nation striving to outdo the other in military might. This relentless competition for supremacy has led to unprecedented advancements in weaponry and technology, but also to a growing sense of paranoia and mistrust. For decades, tensions have been simmering beneath the surface. Old rivalries fester, unresolved and bitter. New ambitions arise as nations seek to expand their influence and secure their place in the world order. The alliances and treaties that once promised peace now seem like fragile threads, easily broken. Germany, a rising power, feels constrained by its neighbors. Its rapid industrialization and military buildup have made it a formidable force, but also a target of suspicion and fear. The German leadership, driven by a desire for recognition and respect, is willing to take bold risks to achieve its goals. France, still smarting from its defeat in the Franco-Prussian War, yearns for revenge. The loss of Alsace-Lorraine to Germany is a wound that has never healed, and the French people are determined to reclaim their lost territory and restore their national pride. Britain, the world's dominant naval power, watches nervously as Germany's naval ambitions grow. The British Empire, with its vast colonies and global interests, relies on its navy to maintain its supremacy. The prospect of a powerful German fleet threatens this delicate balance and fuels an intense naval rivalry. Russia, vast and powerful, seeks to protect its Slavic brethren in the Balkans. The Russian Empire, with its deep cultural and religious ties to the Slavic peoples, views itself as their natural protector. This sense of duty and kinship drives Russia's foreign policy and its willingness to confront any threat to its influence in the region. But the Austro-Hungarian Empire, a patchwork of nationalities, views the Balkans as its own sphere of influence. The empire, struggling to maintain its cohesion and stability, sees the Balkans as both a buffer and a battleground. The ambitions of its neighbors and the aspirations of its own diverse populations create a volatile and unpredictable situation. The Ottoman Empire, once a mighty power, is now the sick man of Europe, its territories ripe for the picking. The empire's decline has created a power vacuum, drawing in ambitious neighbors and igniting conflicts over its remaining lands. The struggle for control of these territories adds another layer of complexity to the already tense situation in Europe. In the heart of this volatile mix lies the Balkans, a region long known as the powder keg of Europe. The intricate web of alliances, rivalries, and nationalistic fervor in the Balkans makes it a flashpoint for conflict. Any spark here could ignite a conflagration that would engulf the entire continent, setting the stage for a war unlike any the world has ever seen.
To protect themselves in this dangerous world, the great powers have forged a complex web of alliances. Germany, Austria, Hungary, and Italy form the Triple Alliance. France, Russia, and Great Britain counter with the Triple Entente. These alliances, meant to deter aggression, have the opposite effect. They create a climate of fear and suspicion. A small conflict could drag all of Europe into war. A single spark could ignite the powder keg. That spark comes on a sunny June day in Sarajevo, the capital of Bosnia. Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, is visiting the city with his wife Sophie. It is a fateful decision. The Archduke is a controversial figure. He is seen by many as a reformer, but also as a symbol of Habsburg oppression. His visit to Sarajevo is met with mixed emotions. Some welcome him, others plot his demise. On June 28, 1914, the Archduke and his wife are riding in an open car through the streets of Sarajevo. The atmosphere is festive but tense. Security is lax. Suddenly, a young Bosnian Serb, Gavrilo Princip, steps forward from the crowd. In his hand, he clutches a pistol. Shots ring out. The Archduke and his wife are mortally wounded. Princip is quickly apprehended. Section 5, the ultimatum, Austria-Hungary's response. The assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand sends shockwaves through Europe. Austria-Hungary is outraged. It blames Serbia for harboring the assassins and demands retribution. Austria-Hungary issues an ultimatum to Serbia, a harsh document containing a series of demands designed to humiliate and weaken the Serbian state. Serbia, fearing for its survival, appeals to Russia for help. Section 6. Declarations of war. The dominoes fall. The summer of 1914 was a tinderbox of alliances and tensions, waiting for a spark to ignite a global conflict. Russia, determined to protect its Serbian ally after the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand, begins to mobilize its army. This move is seen as a direct threat by Germany, which is bound by its treaty with Austria-Hungary. The intricate web of alliances starts to tighten. On August 1st, 1914, Germany declares war on Russia. This declaration sets off a chain reaction across Europe, as nations are pulled into the conflict by their alliances and treaties. France, bound by its treaty with Russia, mobilizes its army in support of its ally. The French government, aware of the looming threat from Germany, prepares for the worst. Germany, fearing a two-front war against both Russia and France, decides to act swiftly. On August 3rd, Germany declares war on France, hoping to quickly neutralize one of its adversaries. Great Britain, initially hesitant to get involved in the continental conflict, is drawn into the war when Germany violates Belgian neutrality. The invasion of Belgium, a neutral country, outrages the British public and government. The violation of Belgium's neutrality is seen as an unacceptable act of aggression. On August 4th, Great Britain declares war on Germany. The dominoes have fallen, and Europe is plunged into one of the deadliest conflicts in human history. The Great War, later known as World War I, has begun, setting the stage for a prolonged and devastating conflict that will reshape the world. Section 7. The Guns of August. Europe at war. The Guns of August 1914 mark the beginning of the most destructive war the world has ever seen. Millions of soldiers are mobilized, armies clash on land, at sea and in the air. Germany, following its Schlieffen Plan, launches a lightning attack on France through neutral Belgium. The plan is to knock France out of the war quickly before turning its attention to Russia. But the plan fails. The German advance is halted at the Battle of the Marne. The war on the Western Front settles into a bloody stalemate. Section 8. The Western Front. A bloody stalemate. On the Western Front, a vast network of trenches stretches from the English Channel to Switzerland. For 4 long years, the armies of Germany and the Allies will clash in a brutal war of attrition. Machine guns, artillery, and poison gas turn the battlefield into a charnel house. Millions of men will be killed or wounded in battles with names like Verdun, the Somme, and Passchendaele. Section 9. The Eastern Front, a war of movement. On the Eastern Front, the war is different. The vast distances and harsh conditions make trench warfare impractical. The war here is more fluid, with sweeping advances and retreats. Russia, despite its vast size and manpower, is hampered by poor leadership and equipment. Germany inflicts a series of crushing defeats on the Russian army. Section 10. The global conflict from Europe to the world. The war in Europe soon spreads to other parts of the world. The Ottoman Empire joins the Central Powers, opening fronts in the Middle East and the Caucasus. Japan, allied with Great Britain, seizes German colonies in the Pacific. The United States, initially neutral, is drawn into the war in 1917 after German submarines sink American ships. The entry of the United States into the war tips the balance in favor of the Allies. Section 11. Conclusion. The legacy of the Great War. World War I ends on November 11, 1918, with the defeat of the Central Powers. The armistice is signed, bringing an end to 4 years of unprecedented carnage and destruction. The world breathes a collective sigh of relief, but the scars of the conflict run deep. The war leaves millions dead and Europe in ruins, cities are reduced to rubble, and entire landscapes are scarred by trenches and shell craters. The old order is swept away, and the social and political fabric of Europe is forever altered. The war has not only decimated populations, but also shattered economies and destabilized governments. New ideologies, such as communism and fascism, emerge from the ashes of the war. The Russian Revolution of 1917 leads to the rise of communism, while the economic and social turmoil in Italy and Germany paves the way for fascism. These ideologies promise to rebuild and restore, but they also bring new forms of oppression and conflict. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, officially ends the war, but it also sows the seeds for future conflict. The treaty imposes harsh penalties on Germany, stripping it of territory, limiting its military, and demanding exorbitant reparations. These punitive measures foster resentment and economic hardship, creating fertile ground for extremist movements. Germany is blamed for the war and forced to pay heavy reparations. The economic strain leads to hyperinflation and widespread poverty. The German people feel humiliated and betrayed, setting the stage for the rise of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. The unresolved issues and grievances from World War I make another global conflict almost inevitable. World War I is a watershed moment in human history. It is a war that no one wins. It is a stark reminder of the human capacity for destruction and the folly of war. The legacy of the Great War is a complex tapestry of loss, change, and the relentless pursuit of power. It teaches us the importance of diplomacy, the dangers of unchecked nationalism, and the need for international cooperation to prevent such a catastrophe from ever happening again. The lessons of World War I continue to resonate, reminding us of the fragile nature of peace and the enduring impact of conflict.